I am finally back from UFC Fight Night Vancouver. I'm back home, and in today's video, I'm going to be matchmaking some of the winners and some of the losers of this solid fight night. Obviously, I've got them here, and next to each of these fighters, I've got a blank screen where I'm going to be putting the next opponent that I think they should fight. We're going to start off with Brendan now. We're going to start off with the main event. We're going to end with Jasmine Jasnovic, the most important fights on the card. I'm going to matchmake their next fight. So we're going to start with Brendan Allen. We're just going to go for it. We're going to talk about this main event, man. Obviously, I was pretty disappointed. I was pretty disappointed in the result. The card was great. So many fun fights, lots of fun finishes. Amazing finishes from start to finish, except for that last fight, except for that main event. The crowd hated it. Obviously, it was a grappling wrestling matchup, and it was very technical. It was. It wasn't super exciting, but it was technical. It was a good display of wrestling, and Brendan Allen did what he did, man, and he dominated Rainer de Ritter through round 2 to round 4, dominated him, completely dominated him, shut him down, made him tired, gassed him out. Obviously, I was pissed off initially. I thought Rainer de Ritter, how washed is Whitaker? How bad is Bo Nickel? Is what I'm thinking. But RDR fought so many times this year, super active, big weight cuts, took a lot of damage, no stopping from going in and out of camp. He was constantly fighting. I think the dude deserves a break. But Brendan Allen, you got to give him his credit. Short notice here, big opportunity. He takes the opportunity and he gets a finish, a TKO stoppage, corner stoppage against Rainer de Ritter in a main event in Vancouver. Represents his Canadian side, whatever you want to call it, man. Brendan Allen gets a win, man, by KO over RDR, gets himself in the top 5, and this is big for Brendan Allen. Now he's on a 2-fight win streak. He was on a 2-fight loss streak in 2024. 2025, he's bounced back, beat Marvin Vettori, and now RDR. He's looking pretty good this year, and I think he deserves a big matchup. One that RDR was supposed to have, but that guy's going to be Dricus du Plessis, man. The matchup was supposed to be RDR versus DDP. My dream matchup was RDR versus DDP. I'm crushed. I'm absolutely crushed. But Brendan Allen deserves that matchup, I think. It is a number 1 contender matchup, and the question is, are they going to rank him higher than Fluffy? Are they going to rank him higher than Imavov if he beats DDP? But I think Imavov is going to fight for the title, guaranteed. Give Imavov that title shot. Fluffy, I think people are matching Fluffy up with DDP. I think Fluffy should fight Strickland. Nobody's called out Fluffy. Nobody wants to fight Fluffy, and Strickland called him out. I think you make that matchup. And if Fluffy destroys Strickland, give him a title shot. On the flip side, I think you got to give Allen the shot against DDP. DDP's coming off that loss, finally taking some time off now, and I think he comes back in 2026, fights Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen, I think, is going to take some time off. He was talking about coming back in February, March. I think that's a great time for DDP to come back, make this matchup fight night main event, or I think you put this on a main card of a pay-per-view. Really, really good fight, co-main of a pay-per-view, whatever you want to do with it, man. It's not even a pay-per-view, Paramount card, whatever you want to do. It's a good fight. Brendan Allen versus DDP, it's what I want to see. I think Brendan Allen deserves it after stepping up on short notice, saving the main event, and beating RDR on short notice, out cardioing him, out grappling Rainer de Ritter, and TKOing him in the 4th round. So great win for Brendan Allen. I think he deserves the DDP matchup. We're going to move on to the next fighter, though. RDR, man. Oh, man. Why didn't he tag in DDP? I was waiting the whole fight. I was waiting for the whole fight for RDR to take a hammer from his corner and go smash Brendan Allen in the head, grab a chair, smash a chair on his head, or pull out a fluke submission off his back, or do something, man. Tag in DDP. All right, DDP, you're in, brother. You're in. Like, oh, my God, man. RDR, I was crushed, man. I was really crushed to see the result of this fight. I was rooting for RDR. I was hyping this dude up like crazy, and I still think he is good. I still think RDR is very good. He is goofy. He did have terrible fight IQ in this fight. He did exactly the opposite of what I thought he was going to do. He put all of his gas, all of his eggs into that one basket in round 1. He literally just dominated Brendan Allen round 1, took him down, grappled him up, controlled him for the entirety of that first round, looked for submissions, just held him down. Brendan Allen stayed calm, stayed collected, and then round 2, RDR tried to do the same thing and then got put on bottom and was just so tired from having his body leg triangle wrapped around Brendan Allen, squeezing on him, holding him in guard, trying to throw up submissions off his back, and got himself super tired and lost by corner stoppage, TKO in the 4th round. So not a great look for RDR. Really not a great look for RDR. I think he's got to take a step down in competition, take some time off. Please, Rainer de Ritter, please take some time off, brother. You've been active like crazy. RDR has been active like crazy in this year, and if he'd beat Brendan Allen, he would have been one of the best fighters of 2025. Obviously he fell short, but I think RDR take some time off, come back in March or April, and I think you should fight. I think you should fight MVP. Michael Venom Page, I know, people are going to be like, why? Like, why? But this is the classic striker versus grappler matchup. And I think MVP, he's on a little bit of a streak right now, 2-fight win streak. He's also getting up there in age a little bit. I think he's 37. RDR is getting up there in age. I think this is a good matchup. Put these two against each other on a pay-per-view main card. I think it's a good fight. I think it's a really good fight. RDR can definitely sub or grapple up MVP, but MVP could definitely outstrike, outpoint RDR, keep him at range. So this would be an intriguing matchup, man. This would be an interesting matchup, and I don't really know what else to do with RDR. MVP is coming off a couple wins. He deserves a little bit of a step up, and RDR is coming off that loss. He's ranked, number 4, number 5 right now, so I think it's a fun fight. Make that fight. It could be a good bounce back for RDR in, mid 2026, and MVP can also get a step up, and if he wins against RDR, he's in the mix, so good matchup there. I think that's the fight to make, man. Unfortunate result in UFC in Vancouver for RDR, but I think he'll bounce back. I hope so, at least. We'll see. We're gonna move on though to the pretty boy Mike Malott. Gets the decision over Kevin Holland through 3 rounds. There was some controversy with the nut shot, man. The first one was a clear nut shot. Second one, I don't know what Kevin Holland was on about, man. People are saying, Malott by nut shot, all this, and like, okay, the first one was a nut shot, but the second one was not. That knee was not a nut shot. That was straight to the midsection of Kevin Holland, and he was so close to fluking a no contest or fluking a win over Mike Malott via that nut shot. And I thought he was just going to come up with an excuse. I do respect Holland for continuing the fight and losing by decision, but good showing for Malott besides the controversy. Unfortunate with the controversy. It takes away from his good win, but he did beat Kevin Holland by decision, outstruck him, outgrappled him. Good win for Mike Malott. I think there's a clear fight to make for Mike Malott here. He's been fighting Americans, and I think you should keep making him fight these Americans. See if he can just keep beating Americans, man. Colby Covington. This is the fight to make. This is the fight I want to see. People are going to say, Colby's still a decent big name. Like, some people are still going to pretend like Colby's up there in the mix. No, he's not. He's washed. He's a bum. Okay? But if you want to convince Colby Covington to take a fight, and you tell him, you want to fight this up-and-coming Canadian prospect on the White House card or in Canada, I think Colby will jump at that opportunity. He loves to represent the U.S. He is a true American through and through. He will talk about the 51st state, all sorts of political bullshit, and he can make it political. All Dana White has to do to convince him to take this fight is say, Colby, you want to represent the U.S., right? You want to make Canada the 51st state, right? All this shit. He's going to say all this shit, and Colby's going to be like, yeah. So I think Colby can be convinced into this. He could see this as a matchup where he could beat a Canadian, where he could bounce back. Like, I could definitely see Colby liking this matchup and taking this. While Malott, he wants to move up the rankings. He could see Colby as getting older, a grappler, not very dangerous. Mike could get his game off. So I think this is a good fight. I think it's a very fun fight, a compelling fight. A lot of people are going to be split on who they're taking. I would obviously go Malott. I'm a Canadian casual, but good fight. I think this is the fight to make, man. Malott coming off a pretty good win over Kevin Holland. Obviously, Kev called out Colby a while ago. They were maybe going to fight, and now Malott's beat Kev. I think you put Malott versus Colby either in Canada or in the U.S., and it's a great fight either way, man. So that's the fight I want to see. But for Kevin Holland, unfortunate loss. He's going to be back before the end of the year. Come on. Let's be honest. That nut shot's not going to have him out. He's going to try to come back. And he predicted his final fight of 2025, and I think it's a great fight. It's a fight that I have no idea how it's not made yet, how it's never been done. Kevin Holland should be fighting Neil Magny. How has this fight never been booked? This is one of those fights where you're like, what? They haven't fought before? The two, longest fighting streaks in welterweight history haven't fought before? The guy with the most wins in welterweight history, Neil Magny, hasn't fought Kevin Holland. It doesn't make sense. This is the fight to make. Okay, I know Neil Magny's coming off a couple wins, but we're not going to give him a ranked opponent just yet, all right? He's fluked a couple wins. He's done his thing. Neil Magny is a cockroach maxer, man. And this is a good bounce back spot for Kevin Holland. It's a good opportunity for Neil Magny to get another one. Somehow get another one. Find a Darce choke. Find something on Kev, who is subbable, but I could see Kevin Holland knocking out Neil Magny as well. This is a very compelling matchup. I love this matchup. I really, really love this matchup. Back and forth between the two of these guys. Maybe Kev could be winning the first 2 rounds, and then Neil Magny sneaks away with a cockroach Darce choke. You never know. This is one of those ones where you don't put your money on this fight. You don't even try to pick a side. You just watch. You just watch and ooh and ah and see how this goes. But this is a great fight. This is a great matchup. I love this one. Put this one at the end of 2025, man. Put it on fight. It could be a fight night. It could be on a pay-per-view. If it's on a pay-per-view, like, let's be honest, people are going to want to watch this. Everybody wants to watch Kevin Holland. The Canadian crowd loved Kevin Holland. I thought they were going to boo and just cheer for Mike, but they love Kev. They love Kev. Everybody loves Kev. So great fight to make. I think this is the next matchup for Kevin Holland. But we're going to move on to Aiemann Zahabi, who had a big win over Chito Vera. Split decision, little controversial, very close. I did go with Aiemann Zahabi to win the fight, and I did say if this was close, man, if this is a close decision in Canada, if Chito lets this be close, what do you expect if you lose, man? Like, we're going to be honest with ourselves. There is a little bit of Canadian bias. There is, for sure, for sure. Malott won clear, fair and square. Aiemann, it was very close. Could have gone either way. If this was in Las Vegas, Chito might have gotten the nod. You never know, right? But Aiemann pushed forward. I think he won round 1 and round 3. Very, very close. Not very convincingly, but he did get the split decision. He got the nod. So Aiemann, big win for him because Chito, former title challenger, he's been in the top 5 of this division for a while. He's fought the best of the best, the who's who of the division. So this is big for Aiemann Zahabi. He beat Aldo. A lot of people say he fluked Aldo, robbed Aldo, and now he's fluked another one over Chito Vera. But, I think he does deserve a bit of a step up. This guy's got one of the longest win streaks in bantamweight at the moment. I think besides, who is it? Oh my goodness, I'm forgetting his name. Mario Batista. I think that's the only guy that's got a bigger a bigger win streak, excuse me. But Aiemann Zahabi's got a massive win streak at bantamweight. If he beats somebody in the top 5, he could be fighting for the belt because Merab's cleared out the division. He's about to fight Petr Yan 2 months after fighting Sandhagen. It doesn't make sense. The dude is unstoppable. He's a machine. I don't even know what to say. I need to make a full video on just Merab and examine Merab because I don't get it. I don't get this dude. And he's clearing out the division faster than anybody in the UFC. He's got the most title fights of the entire UFC after this fight with Petr Yan. 4 in 1 year. Beating Umar, beating Sandhagen, beating Sean O'Malley twice, and then beating Petr Yan twice would be insane. He's completely wiped out the top 5. They need a new contender. Aiemann, he needs to get up in the top 5. If he wins this next fight, give him the title shot, man. And I think the guy he should fight is the guy he called out, Sean O'Malley. I know. People are going to be like, well, he doesn't deserve this. Just split decision over Chito, barely beat Aldo, all this shit. But for the Sean O'Malley Glazers, they are going to look at this. Sean is going to look at this and be like, ew, not a big name value, but I could chin him. I could get a big performance. I could get a big bounce back. I could get a performance bonus of the night, a big knockout, get me back in the win column. This is a good opportunity for Aiemann to get in the top 5, but it's a way better opportunity for Sean to prove that he's still got it. And if he does chin Aiemann Zahabi, like I think he probably would, let's be honest. Aiemann got dropped by a Chito jab. All right. I think Sean can chin Aiemann Zahabi. Put this on the White House card. Put it on the White House card. Aiemann didn't take like crazy damage. He could bounce back. I don't even know when the White House card is. It might be in June or July. Whatever. Put this fight on the White House card. Aiemann versus Sean O'Malley. Big bounce back spot for Sean, and also a big opportunity for Aiemann Zahabi. He called for this fight. I don't think he's the faster striker. I don't think he's got more power. So I think he's kind of outgunned here, but he does have great game planning with his brother. You never know, but I would go with Sean O'Malley. But this is a good fight. It's a good fight. Good bounce back spot for Sean. Good challenge for Aiemann Zahabi. If he beat Sean O'Malley, title shot basically immediately because Merab's got nobody else to fight. But good fight. And then for Chito Vera, the loser, he falls short against Aiemann Zahabi by split decision. Unfortunate. Like, why are you letting it go to a split decision in Canada and thinking you're going to get the nod, buddy? Like, I like Chito. I just wish he had more urgency after dropping Aiemann badly. He dropped Aiemann pretty bad with that jab. He should have rushed in and tried to finish that right there and then. He won that round because of that, but he didn't have the urgency to get the finish when Aiemann was on Bambi legs. He was a little bit wobbled. He was trying to get himself back coordinated, and Chito just didn't push like he should have, man. He let it go to a decision. So I got to say that Chito's got to fight down in the rankings even more, and I've got a fun fighter for him to fight, and that's going to be Vinicius Oliveira. I think this is a really good fight. a really good scrap back and forth. Vinicius is on a solid win streak right now in the UFC. I don't think he's lost in the UFC yet. Good wins back to back. He's been beating some decent competition. Just beat Kyler Phillips convincingly, and I think he could have a good scrap with Cheeto. He might beat Cheeto, but this could be a good spot for Cheeto because both guys are pretty physical. I think Cheeto's got the bigger power. Vinicius is crazier, but I think if Cheeto stands his ground, lands his good shots, and has a little bit more urgency, he could win this fight. He could definitely also chin Vinicius Oliveira. I thought he was kind of due for a fraud checking against Amon. I thought he was going to maybe fluke a head kick in that third round or something, but he didn't get it. Unfortunately, he was trying with the front kick up the middle, but he was missing, obviously. But I think Cheeto should fight Vinicius Oliveira. He needs to fight down the rankings even more. Vinicius is on a streak, and after the rankings come out this week, I think Cheeto's going to be ranked number 9, number 10 maybe. So it's a good fight, Cheeto, Vinicius Oliveira. Cheeto needs to bounce back really badly, man. And I think he could do it against Vinicius, but Vinicius could also get himself up in the top 10. So that's the matchup I'd make. But we'll move on to Manon Fiorot, who had the biggest win of her career. Big TKO in the first round against Jasmine Jasudavicius. Crushed me, I won't lie. It had me crushed because I was rooting for Jasmine. I picked Jasmine. I had to root for the Canadians. But, I mean, Manon Fiorot had a really nice KO. Like, I can't even pretend like that was an early stoppage. It wasn't, all right? You know, Jasmine was saying, oh, early. Like, the crowd was booing and saying it was early, but it wasn't, all right? You know, she had her on Bambi legs. She had her on skates. Fiorot landed a big she knocked or tapped Jasmine's hand, her guard, broke her guard, and then stung her with a big left. Had Jasmine on Bambi legs, doing the wobbles, man, and then connected with a couple knees, or they barely connected, I think. Had Jasmine down on the mat, had her head face down to the canvas, and was just landing big shots from the side. Had her like I would say she was unconscious. It was a good stoppage from Dan Mergliotta, even though Dan was literally doing the worst shit all night. The absolute worst. The worst part about this Vancouver card was Dan Mergliotta, without a doubt. Fire the dude. His CT is worse than every single person on the card. I don't know what you got to do but fire Dan. Nonetheless, though, I think Manon beat big performance against Jasmine in Canada as well. You know, after losing to Shevchenko in a very close fight. It was a very close fight. I was there at 3:15. It was a close fight, all right? And she broke her nose, I believe. You know, she was having all sorts of difficulties, some injuries and things. So I think Manon, big bounce back for performance. She just needs one more. I think she gets that title shot. Right now, we got Zhang versus Shevchenko in November. Very good fight. But I think in the meantime, you do number one contender, Fiorot versus Silva. I think you do Natalia Silva versus Fiorot. They were both on 315. Natalia Silva won. She beat Alexa Grasso. She could arguably be fighting for the belt next, but I'd like to see Silva stay active, fight Fiorot while we see who wins between Shevchenko and Weili, and then the winner of Fiorot versus Silva fights the winner of Shevchenko versus Weili. I think that's how it should play out. That's the perfect way I see that going, rather than having Fiorot wait on the side, wait for her time, and Silva wait for her shot at the title. I think you match these two up together. Great fight. Really, really fun fight. Going to be a good striking matchup. The grappling side would be on Fiorot, but it would be a good striking matchup. You could even do it as a main event of a fight night. You know, people wouldn't be very happy, but put in the Apex, maybe put in probably live crowd fight night. But I think it's a good fight, and it's definitely a number one contender fight without a doubt. Winner would fight Weili or Shevchenko. We're going to move on, though, to the loser of the fight between Manon and Jasmine. Jasmine loses to Manon pretty badly. Pretty bad loss for Jasmine. This will definitely halt her streak. You know, she was on a great streak, had never been finished, and then gets finished by Manon. Really not a great look. Unfortunate for Jasmine. I think she has to take a step down. I think they're going to give her a step down now that she's up in the top 5. Give her Wang Kong. It's not what I want, but Wang Kong. I could so see them booking this fight. Wang Kong versus Jasmine. I could so see the UFC booking this fight. They're pushing Wang Kong heavy. They want more Chinese fighters. They need more Chinese fighters, honestly, because they don't have that fan base. After having Zhang Mingyang get destroyed by Johnny Walker, they desperately need some more Chinese fighters to step up. So I think they're going to push Wang Kong. Obviously, she got finished a couple fights ago, and I think Jasmine could win this fight. So this is a good chance for Jasmine to bounce back. She could maybe grapple up. Oh my goodness, I was about to mess up her name. Wang Kong. She could grapple up Wang Kong, or Wang Kong could just get her striking off. Maybe chin Jasmine again. We'll see if Jasmine's chin recovers. But I think it's a good bounce back spot for Jasmine. It's also a good shot for Wang Kong to get a big boost in the rankings, get herself up into the top 10. So that's the matchup I want to see, man. And then as an honorable mention, I didn't put him on here, but Charles Jourdain, big breakout performance. Big breakout performance. My favorite performance of the night, man. Jump flying knee, Air Jourdain, jump knee to Davy Grant's head, drops him brutally, and then nasty ground and pound into a guillotine, a classic Jourdain guillotine. We got to call it a classic at this point. This guy's got a nasty guillotine, probably the nastiest in the UFC. He wraps it up so well, and he knew when he had it, stuck his tongue out. Really, really nice performance by Charles Air Jourdain. I think he deserves a big jump up. I didn't put it on this card or on this graphic here, but I think Jourdain should fight who he called out, Marcus McGee. I want to see Jourdain versus Marcus McGee. Marcus McGee's coming off that loss to Piotr Jan. You know, he's kind of got to reevaluate things. He's getting up there in age. I think he's 35 now at bantamweight. So Marcus McGee versus Jourdain. Jourdain is undefeated at 135, back-to-back guillotine chokes, really good performances in Canada. Get Charles Jourdain and Louis Jourdain, his little brother, on the same card. Put Jourdain versus Marcus McGee. Give him a shot at the rankings. We need some fresh blood at 135. Marab is running through everybody, okay? We need fresh blood at 135. Get our boy Charles Jourdain in the top 15. Get that chance at Marcus McGee, and then put him on the same card as Louis Jourdain's UFC debut. That would be amazing. You got to build up these duo brothers at bantamweight, the first two Canadian brothers at bantamweight. I think that's what the UFC's got to do. But that's the entire video, boys. All my next fights for some of the winners and some of the losers of UFC Fight Night Vancouver. It was a great fight night. I loved going live, loved meeting fighters. I met DC and stuff, met Paul Felder. It was super sick, super sick. If you guys did enjoy the video, though, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, like I said. Drop it down in the comments who you guys think should be the next matchup for Brendan Allen and RDR if I did a good job matchmaking. But without further ado, I will catch you guys in the next video. See you.